Okay, so in this video we're going to discuss a difference of cubes, but first I want to talk about a difference of squares, which is a review topic. So if I look at x squared minus 4, this guy right here is a perfect square, and this guy right here is a perfect square. We can think about it as x squared plus 0x minus 4. And so what two terms multiply to negative 4 but add to 0? Well, that's a negative 2 and a positive 2. And that's how we would factor. Well, rather than writing it like this, there's a pattern. What we do is we look at, well, it's the square root of x squared, it's x. What's the square root of 4? It's 2 and 2. And there's a pattern that the signs will alternate. So if I had, I don't know, x squared minus 64, well, I know it's x and 8, and I just put the plus or the minus. It's the difference of two squares. We can also do 4x squared minus 64. Now in this first term, the square root of 4 is 2x, and I have my minus 8 and my plus 8. And this is how I could factor a difference of squares. Well, we're dealing with a difference of cubes. And now with the difference of cubes, and we also have a sum of cubes. These two formulas. Hopefully you're getting the hint here that you need to memorize these. We need to know how to do this. There's a little way that we try and remember it, but let's just kind of look at this. And the pattern right now is I have two terms that are cubes, or perfect cubes, and this is how, if I'm adding two perfect cubes, this is how it would factor. And we use this acronym, if you will, SOTA. So if it's the sum, these guys are opposites, and if it's the difference, D, it's always the same. So always the same. So SOTA, sum, opposites, difference, always the same. And notice here the other pattern is, if it's a plus here, that first term is always matching what we're doing, whether we're adding or subtracting. So let's go in through this. We have the cube root of both of our terms, and then we have this pattern of the first term squared, the last term squared, and we multiply our two terms together. Let's do a couple examples. Write down these in your notes, and then the first few examples, we're just going to write this down, and then we're going to follow the pattern. Okay, so this guy is a sum of cubes. So let's write down the sum of cubes pattern. It's the sum, so sum is opposite. So that's the pattern. A cubed is equal to x cubed. So A is equal to x. B cubed is equal to 125. So what number to the third power is equal to 125? We just got done with logs. If you need to use a logarithm, you can. We should know that B is equal to 5. So I use this information, and I say x plus 5. Well, what's A? A is x. So x squared. 5 times x. Minus 5x. What's B? B is 5 plus 25. Doesn't factor any further. And if we go ahead and go backwards and distribute, it'll end up being this guy. Okay, so our next one is a difference of cubes. Okay, so here's our pattern, A minus B. And we have A squared, and we think about this idea, SOTA. So now we have difference, which is all the same. So it's all the same for pluses. and it's always a squared, ab, b squared. So that's always going to be the case. Okay, so if a cubed is equal to x cubed, then a is equal to x. B cubed is equal to 27. We ignore the minus, we just look at the number. Then b is equal to, not 27, b is equal to 3. So I have x minus 3 times x squared plus 3x, right, a and b, plus 9. Okay, and now our last example. Now this one has a coefficient, so it's a little bit trickier. But we notice that it's a sum, so I'm just going to write the pattern. You don't have to write the pattern. I'm just showing so we can work with it if we need to. So we have a plus, so it's sum, so this is always a plus b, and then sum is opposite, right? So it's a squared minus ab plus b squared. So if a cubed is equal to ax cubed, the cube root, so what two numbers multiply to 8 that are the same number? It has to be 3 of them. Well, that's 2x. B is equal to 64, b cubed is equal to 64. So b is the same as 4. 4 cubed is 64. So I take this and I expand it into my sum of cubes. So I have 2x plus 4. Now, 2x squared, so that means this piece right here is 2x squared, so that is a 4x squared, minus 2x times 4, which is 8x, and b squared is 16. And that is how we work with a sum or a difference of cubes.